Very hot day. Just finished the gym. We're outside by the pool, and we're gonna go over the fights. This Saturday we got a good card, very good card. International Fight Week. Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez, and we got a lot of fights to talk about. So let's get right into it. So I'm not gonna cover every single fight. I'm just gonna cover the fights that I personally think, um, are worth covering. So first, we'll start off with. We'll go with this one. Cameron Simon versus Terrence Mitchell. Definitely taking Cameron on this one. Definitely taking Cameron. And I think, once again, it's going to be another knockout. I think he's going to knock him out. And I think he's going to knock him out early. Let's say in the second round. Terrence Mitchell, his record looks solid, but it's been all in the Alaskan League. This is his first fight in the UFC. This is Cameron's fight, guys. This is really Cameron's fight. He's just better than him on paper. He should win this fight every single time. If they fight 100 times, he should win 100 times. Terrence Mitchell doesn't have the experience that Cameron has now with one fight in the UFC, two fights, sorry, and he found the Contender Series. Listen, man, he's training in a good gym with Dreykus. He's training every day. He's young. I think he's going to win this one. I think it's going to be a dominant victory. Next, we have Vitor Petrino, and I'm taking my boy Vitor versus Marcin Pracino, and I think he's gonna win by, once again, another knockout. And I'll say he finishes him early. I think he's gonna finish him in the first round. Yeah, he's solid, man. He's solid. He's got power in his hands. I think if Vitor continues what he's doing, he could be a pretty good contender. Minus 160 on the knockout. On by finish, the odds aren't updated yet, so we don't know what knockouts odds look like. But it could be interesting when they come out. Under 1.5. I think it's gonna be under 1.5. I think it's gonna be an early knockout, guys. Vitor, he's good, man. He's good, and he looks like me. You'll see what not with this picture, but when he has a beard, looks like me. Next, we're going with Tatsuro Taira, my first round submission, guys. Very big favorite, huge favorite at minus 910. I definitely think he's gonna run through this guy. Edgar Chairez. Who's this guy? His first fight in the UFC, guys. Tatsuro Taira's good, man. He's very good. He's a phenom. This guy, eventually, I think he's gonna be champion. He's definitely gonna be champion one day. And I'm gonna go first round submission. I know the odds are not too good on first round submission, Tatsuro Taira. But listen, man, it's something to think about. Look, there's a bet boost. Listen, guys, this could be a good idea. Plus 135 bet boost could be a very good idea for anyone who's interested. Next, Jimmy Crute versus Alonzo Menifield. This fight happened already. It's the second time now. First time, Alonzo grabbed the fence, got minus points, and they ended up a draw in the eyes of the judges. Jimmy Crute, 2 losses. There's Anthony Smith and Jamal Hill. Guys, these are the elites of the light heavyweights. Elites of the light heavyweights. And he came up short against Alonzo Menifield. They had a draw. Listen, Jimmy was losing that fight. But I think, guys, it's been 6 months now. Jimmy's had a long time to train. He's younger. A lot more room to grow. Alonzo's 35. I think Jimmy Crute is going to submit him. I think he's going to submit him in the second round. I think these guys are going to get tired, especially Alonso's going to get tired. They're big boys. Jimmy's good, man. He needs to find a way to get the fight to the ground, and I think he's going to dominate him from there. Next, we'll go with JDM. Minus 1,115. Huge favorite, guys. I definitely think he's going to win. Yeah, everyone thinks it's going to be a knockout. I think so, too. I think it's going to be an early knockout. I don't think Josiah Harrell has what he needs to take out JDM. I think this is a mismatch. It's a short notice fight for Josiah Harrell. But, yeah, guys, this is going to be a dominant win for the Aussie. Next, Robbie Lawler versus Nico Price. I've said this before. I want to see Robbie Lawler win, but this is going to be a hard one for him. This is going to be a tough one versus Nico Price. Nico Price is good, man. He's been in there with some of the toughest guys. So is Robbie Lawler, but Robbie Lawler now 41 years old. He looked good against Brian Moreno in the first round, but after Brian started putting on him, it looked like Robbie's cardio was just not there anymore. I love Robbie Lawler, so I can't bet against him. but I'm definitely leaning towards Nico Price in this fight. Next, we have Bo Nickel versus Val Woodburn. Val Woodburn has some fucking balls, man. Taking this fight against Bo Nickel short notice. He's a huge underdog. Bo Nickel, the biggest favorite in UFC history, I believe. In UFC history, guys. I think you have to be stupid to bet against Bo Nickel in this one. You're just wasting your money. It's like playing the lottery. I know it was even minus money for Bo Nickel to win in the first round. So I would say this fight is almost unbettable. I think Bo Nickel's gonna win the first round. Minus 250. That's hard. That's hard to bet on. It's hard to put it on your parlay. Because Bo Nickel, let's say he doesn't want to win the first round. Let's say he wants to wrestle him first. Val Woodburn, if he has some good submission defense. I don't know, guys. This is a tough one to bet on. Maybe you could go under 1.5. Guys, it's minus 425. Wow, this is a tough one. I would say Bo Nickel first round. By submission. The odds are not out yet, but I would say Bo Nickel by submission in the first round. Definitely. I don't think he's going to strike with Val. He has the experience on the lower leagues. But yeah, guys, 83% by submission. I think so too. I definitely think Bo Nickel takes this one by submission, and it's not an unpopular idea. Next, Dan Hooker versus Jalen Turner. Guys, recently Dan Hooker, he hasn't looked very good. When I saw that fight against Claudio Puelles, I said to myself, I'm never betting on Dan Hooker again. Because even though he was winning the fight, looked a bit sloppy. He says he's turned it around. He said he's been training hard. He has the Charlie Olives cut, the bleached hair. But guys, Jalen Turner is solid. I'm going to just go Jalen Turner, knockout in the third round. I think he takes him out later on. Guys, if this was the Dan Hooker we saw versus Poirier, I'd say Dan Hooker every day. But ever since that fight, he has not been the same. Jalen's young. He's been training hard. He's been training with Hamza. It's a couple of guys. Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Jalen Turner for this one. Sad as this, because I am a fan of Dan Hooker, but when I saw him in that Claudio Puelles fight, man, I was scared. Next, Robert Whittaker versus Dricus. You have to be stupid not to take Whittaker in this fight. You have to be stupid. I think he could finish him in the third round. When Dricus gets tired, he could finish him in the third round, or it could be a decision where... Because Dricus is very durable. He is very durable. We've seen him eat shots. I don't think Dricus has a chance against Whittaker. Not even a chance. Whittaker, in my opinion, is the greatest middleweight right now. Yeah, he has this loss versus Izzy. This is a bullshit loss. He won this fight. Whittaker is the champion right now. He's better than Duplessis. I think he either win by decision or a third round knockout, but you could say over 1.5 rounds in this fight for sure. Yeah, it's about half-half. You could say first round, a third round knockout or a decision, but you could say over 1.5. 1.5, I would see this cashes, or 1.5. I don't think he's gonna knock him out early, because like I said, Dricus is very, very durable. Over 1.5, minus 150. It's better than Robert Whittaker at minus 400. Duplessis over 1. This is not cashing. This could cash a plus 180. Yeah, that could be a good one. A nice bet boost. Right, now we'll go to the championship fights. Brandon Moreno versus Alexandre Pantoja. Obviously going with my boy Brandon. I love Brandon. I've been backing him for most of his fights. Since he fought Figueiredo the second time, I've backed him every time. Yeah, so guys, come on. This is Brandon Moreno's fight. I think it's going to go over 3.5 rounds for sure. Yeah, Alejandro beat him twice, but it was a while ago. I feel like Brandon is a different person now. It could be that he just has his number, but personally, I don't think so. I think he's solid fighter. What we saw Brandon in the Kai Kara France fight and what we saw him do to Figueiredo in the last fight, Man, he's dangerous. Very dangerous. I think this fight goes over 3.5 rounds because Alejandro is pretty durable. I would say decision. I'll say decision, but anything could happen. I would say Brandon Moreno over 3.5 rounds. Now, we have the main event. Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez. People are saying Yair is going to knock him out. He's going to kick him in the head. Saying, oh, he ate a kick from Islam. His head kick defense isn't good enough. Guys, when he fought Islam, he was fighting with a low stance. He didn't want to get taken down. Now he's fighting Yair Rodriguez. He knows he's going to keep his hands up. If he could do what he did to Korean Zombie, Max Holloway, Brian Ortega, oh my God, it's going to be a beating. And I say it's over 3.5 rounds. I would say he either finishes him in the 4th or the 5th. Volkanovski is going to beat this guy up, man. I don't know. He could wrestle him against the cage. And oh my God, his distance management is so good. And guys, people think, yeah, Volkanovski is a short guy. His reach is bigger than Yair Rodriguez. He has a longer reach. Maybe his legs are not as long, obviously, and Yair Rodriguez does use his legs as a rangefinder. But guys, oh my God, I think Volk is going to swarm him. He's going to dictate the pace of the fight. I don't think Yair Rodriguez is going to have anything for Volk. He's good, man. Volk's really good. Right now, he's pound for pound number 1 for me. Definitely pound for pound number 1. It's hard to bet against this guy, guys. You know what? We'll go KO in the 4th round. I think so. Maybe the 5th. We'll go the 5th round. I think it's going to be a late stoppage. If it's anything close to what we saw with Ortega, Zombie, and Holloway. Oh my God. It's going to be hard to watch. It's going to be hard to watch. Anyways, guys. Those were my picks. I hope you enjoyed them. Enjoy the fights. Enjoy the hot weather. See you guys.